Thank you, Daddy. I knew you wouldn't say no.
Gameta 7 Hotwife 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 Gameta 7 Hotwife
My favorite is the one where she's like. My favorite is the one where she's like. My favorite is the one. I hear us. Am I the problem? Am I the problem? Okay, I can hear me. Okay, I can hear me. Okay, I can hear me. I'm just gonna keep. It's just gonna keep echoing forever. I'm just gonna keep. It's just Sarah say words forever. I'm just gonna keep. It's Sarah say words forever. Sarah say words. Nope. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. No, that's down instead of up. No, that's down instead of up. No, that's down instead of up.
If we're having
bless
streaming
America.
problems, clap your hands.
Okay, I can't help anymore because I'm on an ads. Okay, I can't help anymore because I'm on an ads. Okay, I can't help anymore because I'm on. Give me about 30 more seconds and then I can assist with audio things again.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Ah. Ah.
Ah.
Ah.
Oh Jesus, it's making a long commercial.
That's gonna be a great if the audio starts working. Just when
Just yelling. La 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 la. Guys, half of what I do all day long is nonsense syllables. Because kids speak their own language. Truly.
Yeah. Woo!
Okay, so we can hear everyone on the Zoom except for Sarah.
Wait, you said you can hear us?
We can hear everyone but Sarah.
Hi,
Glad it's
stream.
working.
Dallas says hi, Stern.
Right, mentioned
Chelsea,
that
hey,
you
who's
smell
yelling?
very nice
Me,
this
my
evening.
inner demons. Yelling? Why are we yelling?
Oh, I'm probably yelling. It's fine.
It was all of
didn't
us.
realize we were
I
live.
was
It's
doing
okay.
it too.
If yelling is cool, consider
I hear it. I'm so sorry, Sarah.
Nothing's working. Things broken.
Don't say nothing's working. I can see things that are working.
There are things that are working.
There are plenty of
I
I
things
meant
that
for
are working.
myself. Sorry.
Also,
I was not
happy
referring
Mercury
to anything
retrograde,
else.
y'all.
This is where I am meant to be. I was born in it, molded by it.
You think you?
hate it when Gatorade is murky.
Yeah, Mercutio's.
This is why I wanted my pencil, because my pen is not.
Mercutio's in the microwave. Yeah.
I don't know why that one got me, but thank you. I think it was
It's
just
in the microwave?
Mercutio, yeah, no, Mercutio is the
Mercutio's
one
in the
that really
microwave.
keeps tickling people. That I call it
This is
Mercutio.
fucking excellent work.
Well, that's his name. That's his Italian name.
His name is Mercutio. The fuck?
Yeah.
Mercutio.
Mercutio.
Oh. If we're not careful, I'm gonna get, like, the ghost of Da Vinci haunting me.
Yo, that would be
Honestly,
ringing as fuck,
vibes.
though.
I'm gonna go to faces so people can see me struggling, at least.
We're gonna go to faces so that the people can see Sarah struggling. I love this.
It would be super rad if Leonardo da Vinci decided to haunt me. It would be sick as fuck. I'd be like, draw me
Do you
pretty
want him to haunt
pictures.
you? I can make him haunt you.
Drop.
Oh, we have
pretty
Sarah!
pictures, bro. Show me the first
Here?
rocket design.
We're up.
That's what I'm saying. Design me an attack helicopter, you coward.
Now I can
What am
mute
I
because I don't want to.
Let me show you what a car battery is. Work off that.
Oh my god.
Work off that.
The things The
don't know why
things Da
that's so
Vinci would do with
terrifying.
Tesla's technology.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. We have me. I'm here.
We have you.
It's working?
We have Sarah. It's working now.
I want to see.
I'm gonna
Hooray.
double check
Let's
myself
see.
because I'm worried again.
There's no frames dropped. Oh, it's
I'm
great.
curious as
It's
to
gonna echo. I paused us. I have to turn this back down. Or
You
I'm
ever
gonna keep
like
being
I
able
know
to,
I've set my character sheet up correctly. Like I went through and set it up and I'm like, this is all accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm looking at my character sheet later and I go, how is that how do I have this? I don't question it because I know I've set it up correctly, but also I'm seriously questioning it.
So we had a
Game
meeting.
Daddy also confirmed that we have you. We have Sarah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Woo! We had a meeting last night.
Quickly, so because Moon didn't get to see us.
Oh, yes.
Hydrate.
Confirm. We've drunk water.
We got
5
a
of the
visual
6 of us.
confirmation for Moon.
But we had a meeting last night, and in that meeting, we learned that Courtney would like to play more. Want more time as a player, and I don't. Because that shit like that happens, and then I'm like, I don't know why I have this, and I feel like I shouldn't have it. But if
Once
I'm the
I
game
set
master,
it up, I trust the process.
But if
I go,
I'm the
nope, I
game
must have
master,
it. It's true.
then, and if I'm a liar, then I'm not actually a liar because I'm the one running the game, and everything that I say is real. So if I make a mistake,
so
it isn't a mistake. It's an artistic choice.
I suppose.
I suppose. Thank you.
Makes sense.
Sure, no lies.
I want to find where I wrote it in our notes.
It's like rounding. If you're the player, round up. If you're the DM, you can round down. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I just need everyone to know how I wrote that conversation in our notes from the meeting last night. Sarah, no want play no more, only run game. Courtney want play more, no run game. This work out nice.
This worked out nice.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
And Sarah literally watched me type it on the document as we were wrapping up that conversation.
And because we all have ADHD and like we didn't have like a couple of our administrative assistants on, the meeting's recorded, so there's just this like 2-minute portion of silence where I'm like staring at my screen just watching Courtney type like, yes. Perfect.
Yes, this is all correct, yes.
Welcome to Life in Cygnus A, and everything is functioning as intended. Yeah. I'm genuinely so happy that everything is just functioning and running that I'm like, okay, I had notes.
We were definitely gonna play a game. I know
we
this.
are playing a game. What?
Nothing. I'm just seriously. I remember. I'm staring at a spell that I know we've talked about Mara having, and my brain still cannot remember why Mara has it. It's fine.
You have that spell.
Do you want to talk about it?
No. I want to
just have that
just
spell.
might take it away from me.
Hey Mara, it's okay. You just have it. You have that. It's yours. It's okay. Pretty. Looking flabbergasted at your own character sheet is a whole mood.
I mean, this stream right now, frankly, is a whole mood. We are here.
Pillow talk with Dallas.
Are you ready to just like jump in and go? Because otherwise, I'm just gonna spiral. It's
all right. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Debbie Energy and King's Coast Coffee. You can use our code in the sponsor link to get 10% off at checkout, and also use Game Daddy AH. That's the code, right?
Yes, or amateur hour.
You know what astounds me
Called
is
Amateur Hour.
He has been our sponsor for forever, and I've never made a "you down with KCC? Yeah, you know me" joke, and I feel really
Wow.
good about that
You've
because
been
it's
going
taken me
through a
this
lot.
long.
That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
It's a lot of pressure to put on yourself, but that's a good one.
It's
a
very good one. Yeah. And if you want to support us more directly, your subs. Yes. Guys, I got poked with like 4 goddamn needles today. I got holes. It wasn't needles. It was holes. I got holes punctured out of me today. So my brain is here. It's not leaking out onto the floor through those holes. But if you want to support us directly, the subs here on Twitch and on YouTube are able to do that. That lets us do things like that scene from Ghost, but corn dogs.
But it's a corn dog.
But it's corn dogs. I'm may or may not be in the process of rehauling my entire garage to be able to film that.
I've been practicing the song.
Really,
I probably sing it every other day at least.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Yeah.
It's also on several playlists, so it just kind of pops up.
Oh, you just exist. It exists.
I also really like the song in general. It's not just for the meme, it's just because I know the song and like it. Plus, I learned it because my dad learned it, and that's when my dad has to learn a karaoke song, I have to learn that karaoke song because he has to sing it constantly for him in order to remember it. So
well, he's also not wrong.
Anyway, it's not incorrect.
But I think that's all of our we are not on tomorrow night for What Dreams May Come. We will be back with that next week.
Yes.
And this Friday, video games. There's your programming. Now sit down. It's time for space.
It's space time.
It's space time. It's time for us to do our jobs in space.
I do my space job.
I mean, technically we're underwater, but
in space.
We're on a planet right now.
But the planet is in space. We're all in space always.
So sorry.
Space.
Last time we met, you guys closed off the call with Nettie after the prison experienced some sort of explosion, some sort of unexpected issue, to the point where to the point where the entire prison's security system went off on this call, and Mara had a fun time. Got to have a fun time experiencing and reliving a whole lot of things from her home planet, including and up to not Hoplocardia, that's the prison, Harmonia. Why would you make those two things so similarly sounding? Because that's exactly what an asshole organization would do.
Hashtag same, though.
Mara got visions of Harmonia disintegrating her home planet right as this explosion goes off. So dealing with the implications and ramifications of that, including Steppy being able to experience Mara's patron, Eris. You look like you have a question.
Experience. Yeah.
Experience.
Steppy was trapped in Mara's thoughts and got
Did I make
either threatened or hit on?
Double traumatized.
Chaos mommy.
My chaos mommy.
I didn't dream that.
Nope.
That was real.
It's on the merch list.
Oh.
You know what's crazy? Steppy asked himself the same thing. I didn't dream that.
I didn't
That
dream that.
was-
No, that was real. That was just real.
Yeah.
Hope some 7 foot tall
Look,
cat.
you described her to me and then told me like her power, and it just
Pretty
Yeah.
sure she's 10 foot.
mixed.
Did I say
Yeah,
10?
yeah.
You-
You said 10 foot.
Okay.
Yeah, and Steppy is just like got a lot of mixed emotions, but like,
And Steppy is, like 2 feet.
whoa,
Oh.
I'm like a 3-something, right?
I think you said you're 3 feet tall.
Are you asking me for confirmation?
I think I'm asking everybody. I think I was like 3.5 or something. I was over 3 foot.
But still, like,
You-
you don't. 10
I
feet
didn't
is
write
even
down your
more
character
to you, my
details,
friend.
but I think you're like 3 feet tall.
I think
You're at
I'm
least 3 feet tall.
I'm over 3 foot. I would say like
Sure.
3'5" because I'm a big
buddy.
man, and
Sure,
the
buddy.
world is my rim.
As someone who
Big
has
man
been,
rim.
for most of my adult life, perpetually 5'3", up until a couple of years ago, the fact that Steppy has, like, aggressive, short girlfriend energy when it comes to his height. No, I'm not 5'2". I'm 5'2.5".
Yeah,
The half is incredibly
The
important.
half is important.
look, I'm just saying you're not gonna take like 4 inches away from Steppy. That's crazy.
Well, not from his height.
Well,
Hey-o.
Sheesh.
We already talking about cloacas.
How did
Chloe?
Steppy jumps off the ship?
That's where
in
the
this
eggs
bitch.
come
Just
from.
yeets himself.
He says another motherfucker said something about my cloaca. The
I'm
disrespect.
fucking
on-
done. I can't.
But we come back into our game at the morning of the day of your arrival. Morning, afternoon. This is kind of your last call of like anything you want to do, anything that you might have thought of in between last session and now that you want to like consider doing before getting to the prison. That's that last call. As well as when all of you are stirring and moving about the ship. Stop that. Your Captain Hoban does let you know that there's a message from Nettie.
Oh, what up?
She
Aw, shit. What up, Nettie?
she explains that the explosion was from within the facility.
Oh.
Recovery item 27. They will be tightening security around the kitchen area. And that's about as much as she like gives you.
So, do we have a chance to ask her any more questions?
No.
Okay,
No.
sounds good.
Sorry,
I was
just so
there's a
good.
question I just now thought of, so I that's all.
Trinity, you're muted.
Yep, that
Yep,
tracks.
yep, that tracks.
So it's a note that says the explosion was internal.
Mhm.
From recovery item 27?
What she says is recovery item 27. So you're aware that it has something to do with that, but she's not given a whole lot of detail.
So,
But like, are these like bullet points or are these like a run-on sentence?
Yeah, they're like bullet points. It's kind of like a
so
telegraph.
so like bullet points, internal explosion, recovery item 27, tighten security on kitchen.
Yeah. Which corresponds with
But-
your information regarding like the map and the location of because recovery item 27 is the one that was this mysterious item in a crate kept in a cell.
I don't like that.
Why?
Because that's the one we need. That's the one Mara believes she needs. That's the one from her home planet.
Oh.
You said
no.
the artifact is an item, recovery item 27, just for context for anyone that doesn't remember this, stowed away in a wooden box in a cell without a prisoner. Nettie doesn't know why it's there or what's in it, only that while the warden claims it to be dangerous, it doesn't seem to do much of anything, except now apparently explode.
Explode now. Sometimes explode, now we know.
And it was brought in from the same mission/planet that Argus came in from. So
Which
it's safe
is Mara's
to
home planet.
assume that it came from Mara's planet.
Yeah.
To be
It's
fair,
a new day. I have to flip.
It's paperweight till it's not.
Beep!
That's super
Perfect.
comforting.
Don't steal my coin. Okay.
All right. So we have vials for all of the teas and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I need to re-jot those so that I can easily access those notes. You said, I believe. Hold on. Let's see if I can find this.
29 years old, and I've never been able to write a proper N. Sorry.
Please
We
clarify.
didn't call it a soup.
Okay.
What were we calling it?
A stew?
Stew.
Yeah, stews.
Ugh. I was trying to search the word that I'm looking for my brain, and I kept typing wrong words for stew, apparently. I don't have the number. Is it 6 per?
Yes, the stews are 6.
I think you said it's okay. Well, the teas and the stews. It's like 6 doses per thing, I think is what you said. Is that correct or is that incorrect?
I'm double checking. Okay, so here's what it is. The teas are servings of 6, and the stews, large pots, are servings of 10.
Oh, perfect.
Because canonically, Steppy does not understand portion control or sizing.
Canonically, yeah. Okay.
Control, sure, but
Didn't
sizing,
he
no.
reduce water though? So wouldn't it be a bigger thing of 10?
That's a very
Do you
good
remember
try.
how much water I reduced?
So much.
It was 10 gallons.
Down. Okay.
It was like
Down
it's
to
such a
one.
enough to
mix, too.
douse
Okay.
a fire.
Yep.
I think me
Oh my
reducing
God.
shit didn't really. Oh God.
All right,
Sarah?
we're gonna jot this.
What?
No.
I need you to know that I've just realized a pun in my character playlist. So I'm doing I have Cosmic Omens as a Circle of Stars druid. So every day I roll for wheel or woe.
Yeah.
One of the songs on my playlist is "Whoa Whoa Whoa" by George Watsky.
That
I just needed you to. I literally
proud
was
of you.
typing WOE as I'm hearing "Whoa Whoa Whoa" start in my headphones, and I was like, "All right."
that's just
Somebody else needed to be aware of that pun who was also aware of George Watsky because it's
that's what we
important.
call magic.
Okay.
Cheers.
That's what we fucking call magic. Was I in the middle of a question?
No, you answered it.
Yeah, you guys will be arriving in the late afternoon to early evening. So this is final call for prep, conversations, planning. And if there's more...
The
Yes?
only other thing is since they said they didn't really know what certain prisoners' magic powers do and their abilities. Potentially, if we the last thing Seppu would discuss is if we potentially needed to, we could try to find a random scapegoat and rush out that way. Be like, they did this to us. We gotta leave. Get your shit under control. I thought that your security was supposed to keep everyone safer. What the fuck is happening? So that's definitely, I think, a
All I
backup.
have
And because I don't like want to screw any like stranger over, honestly, especially if they're caught by these guys. Because
Yeah,
you
once I
odds
all I have in my notes is that we manufacture an emergency.
yeah, so now
To
that
get
we
you
like
out.
know one of the flaws in it is they don't necessarily know what newer prisoners do, like we could potentially do a fall guy.
Yeah. We'll keep that in mind. I think Crystal is planning on being your head of security. So
Yeah, that's the idea I wanted to. I was thinking about asking, or I forgot to ask Daddy about, I guess. So, like, I think that might be one of the options we go with.
I think it might be something like Crystal will just ask as your head of security if she can do like a perimeter scan or something.
Yeah.
Just to like check out the area, make sure she's aware of any potential threats. Yeah. And in the gathering of potential threat names, we'll have names to drop should we need something.
All right.
Does that make sense? Do I make sense? Am I making sense?
Well, yes to all of those questions.
I appreciate you. Thank you. My brain is mush, and I speak to nonverbal kids all day long. So.
Okay, I'm pretty fluent in nonverbal.
Can our backup plan be we just like get the prisoners to start a riot? Mara's asking this like in character. Mara's asking this on the thing.
Well,
just staring at the board. We're going over the last thing. She goes, I mean, I know we have a plan, and I know we have a backup plan, but do we have a backup plan?
So
just in case.
Wouldn't the riot technically count as like just like throwing something in everyone's food and then panicking like they did this or something like that? Wouldn't that technically like count as inciting a riot or be the riot inciter?
I mean, our initial plan is to cause chaos, but it's not like an intentional like as we walk all I'm suggesting is maybe we try to pay attention to the most. We're gonna have two of the inmates there. Also, maybe they'll know. Maybe they'll be able to spread something.
I don't know if we want to do something as bad as a riot, because if there's a riot, potentially like a huge like setback for that is that they're gonna lock down the prison. Because if they're rioting, that means that like letting us leave is literally like letting a potential like risk factor in. So there's a huge risk with riots that they'll say this is too much emergency. We're keeping you here until it's calmed down.
In which case we'd have to try to cloudify in order to leave, which is going to be a little bit more complicated.
Which is going to definitely be harder. So I think we just need to be careful on the amount of chaos we cause, because it will stop being a distraction and end up being a liability, is what Steppy thinks, because, you know, I'm insightful about people and prisons suck.
Yeah.
Do we know how many, like, this prison's huge?
Yeah.
We were aware of the staff, like the numbers, right? The like population numbers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you remind me of those?
As soon as I remind myself, absolutely.
I feel like we would have talked about it, but I don't know if we actually went over it.
Sarah, in response to what you put in the chat of what the fuck is this shit? That looks like IV.
I can't write an N. I've lived in this. Okay.
You start down and then you go back up to the top. Maybe try starting from the bottom to the top.
What do you think my entire life has been?
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Now we're here.
now we're like a quarter of the way up.
Now we're a quarter of the way up.
This ain't the top yet.
I just want to help.
Started from the bottom.
But it's
Over the
I
way
just
up.
want to help.
So
I'm sorry about my eye.
it is a pretty steady because the prison is overpopulated, and they keep bringing in more people. So it's hit its capacity of 330. So it's probably sitting somewhere like 500 inmates.
I'm sorry, you said 330 and then 500. 330 is the supposed to be?
Yeah, that's like its rated capacity. But there's too many.
It's overpopulated because that's what they do.
And
to
there's
prisons.
how many guards?
Yeah.
12. I don't know. Sorry, that was just me being silly.
12 guards? Excellent.
Yes, there are 12 total.
Honestly, wouldn't surprise me. It's like a real prison system.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
There's a
It's
sweeping
52.
kitty.
52 guards on payroll.
Oh, him
Okay.
wake up. Go sleep.
Which is a pretty pretty favorable ratio as far as you guys are concerned. As far as guards to prisoners.
So then,
that's a baby.
So if we do even think about the riot idea, we would have to make sure that the prisoners that started it had murderous intent. Steppy would say this very quietly.
He gets this look from Crystal.
Like, murderous intent would be the good thing.
Yeah. Like, if we do start a riot, like, we would need to turn that murderous intent on the guards.
Yep, just making sure I heard you. Perfect.
Yeah, and like definitely, if we do that, like, we are on the side of the prisoners.
He said doo-doo.
Yeah, I did. Like poop.
Poopy.
But yeah, no, if we went with the riot idea, it would have to be
just
like,
in case, plan C needs to happen. I want some backup plans.
Then Steffi would just be like, if we did do that, like, we are trying to kill all the guards before they lock us in.
Plan A, mild but controllable chaos. Plan B, sickness. Nope. Leaving.
Okay, so
I'm gonna be honest. I just skipped. What was Plan B again? My brain skipped straight from Plan A to C.
I don't know, but I have Plan G called Scapegoat. Is that helpful? Carry on.
That wasn't Trinity. I mean, it was, but it was also Mara.
Steppy eats the cloud mushroom. Our prisoners turn into mist to travel inside of our fog cloud. For the safety of the chef and everyone in the prison, we gotta get Stepopoulos out
of here. Plan A.
We'll
Everything goes smoothly.
To take off for help. That's all that I have written down.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
And I think our backup plan was just that we cause some other kind of chaos, and then we all turn into mist and try to get out through like a vent.
Yep.
I think that was Plan B. Yes.
And we can all turn into mist, including Argus, Guffrey.
So that's things. We cast Windwalk on everybody. One of the things that we do, our desired prisoners are on kitchen duty. We cast Windwalk on them, maybe make it seem like a pre-cooking ritual, ? We make some food. There's an artifact in the kitchen. We got to find it, maybe take it. Mara turns into the mist and goes after the artifact that she needs. Then once food is served, we manufacture some sort of emergency and try to rush Steppy out as a group. If that fails, cause another kind of chaos.
Yeah.
Which we have many options for.
Okay. Do we have any other preparations?
Yeah, Steppy has one. I would like to try to take apart my grenade launcher and hide it in the food, the like cooking equipment. Not the food, the cooking equipment.
Yeah, don't hide a grenade launcher in the food.
But that's what you were gonna say initially, and that's just really fucking.
Honestly,
to be clear,
so the reason I slipped up and said that is because what gave me that idea was like shaving a cake, you know, like
yeah.
But then I was like, bro, you're not gonna put a loaded grenade.
It's an entire fucking grenade launcher disguised as kitchen equipment.
No, it's a cake cut in half, and it's just the full grenade launcher just laying there.
Look what I found in my kid's Halloween candy.
Make sure to search your kid's Halloween candy. I found a grenade launcher. It's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, so I'll just make it
public service announcement. No one is giving your children their edibles.
No.
Yeah.
They're too expensive.
They're too expensive for that shit.
So, okay, but you want to take apart the grenade launcher and have it come through security, not appear to be a grenade launcher. You can do that. When you want to put it back together, there's gonna have to be a like an action or two to give me a second.
I do have a tricky one after, but I will try to take a couple of grenades with me as well.
Okay, perfect.
Can Mara just put it in her bag of holding? Like, does a bag of holding show up on scans? I feel like it does. It's another dimension.
The bag itself would, but it wouldn't give you like a look into.
You wouldn't get like
dimension.
an X-ray of the contents.
You wouldn't be able to
but
see.
It would. You wouldn't be able to see what it was, but you would be able to know that there's another dimension within this bag.
Yeah.
So Mara would say that she could put it in her bag. Like she's gonna see you disassembling and just do you just want
to Steppy will respond with like, we're not sure that they'll allow other dimensions in the prison.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
It took a second.
I mean, if you wanted to, ask your artificer friend, maybe he can help you with that.
Well, now I need
the one who refused to go in the kitchen and try my soup. Yeah, I guess I could ask them. Yeah.
You know what? Fuck you. Figure it out on your own.
Oh, that's crazy. It's like I heard that before, but it was regarding soup and stews and teas, and I can't even talk about this.
I can't even talk about it anymore.
I don't think it was just about stew.
I think it was about friendship. You declined his stew and therefore his friendship.
Look, I said...
No, it can't even.
What if the real stew was the friendships we found along the way?
What if the real stews we found was the friendship we boiled along the way?
No, I just moved suddenly and my cat like jumped like 4 feet back. Just because I like moved my leg. My cat was like, "How fucking dare you?"
No. Yeah, it would fit in the. You could put it in the bag of holding. That'd be fine.
Oh,
I don't know if we allow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he wants to, but also, I don't think. I mean,
I'm just trying to keep this on some sort of track.
I love
Okay.
you so much. You're doing
I'll
so great.
throw it. I'll just put it in the bag.
Okay. You don't
Put
have
that
to.
in
Mara's
the-
got her entire life in this bag. So if
So-
asked, she's gonna start pulling out clothes, like bedding, like
Also, are you
cooking
cool?
equipment.
Are you cool with having explosives in there then?
She's gonna like go, hold on, and then start pulling out like a bunch of weapons that she never absolutely uses, and like just a bunch of shit.
Crystal
Because she
starts
and then
picking them up as she takes them out.
I mean, she's just showing. Like so a little like hand pops out of the bag and starts handing her things when you say that. Because remember, she's coming, like they're leaving the ship, which means her little like companion thing that's like a mechanism, like machine, what is the word? Like animatronic thing. The little I think we
Homunculus
determined it was like a
serpent.
roly-poly type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like her little like
Her little guy.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Steppy
uh,
Steppy is horrified when he first sees the hand and then he calms down.
yeah.
But like as you like take weapons, like Crystal will like take the weapon out of your hand and like make it organized piles.
Oh,
no.
she's not taking them out. She's
Oh,
taking
just
them out,
showing
showing
them?
them, putting them back in the bag, and just being like,
Oh.
"Oh, you mean this? Okay, what about this one?"
Are
As
those
like things are being
explosives?
like one hand comes out with something, the other, and then like as soon as it's gone, it's like, "Excuse me, give me the other thing." I will reorganize. Like her bag is meticulously organized.
Then yeah.
To the point where like she pulls out an inventory list and like shows it to you and goes, do you want to see what's all in here?"
Yeah, I'll just shake my head no and be like, no, I've been in your head enough, and then I'll hand you the grenades and stuff.
We lost Amanda.
Yeah. Hey, Courtney, could you
Yeah.
hop on to...
Yep, on it.
Thank you. Yep, we're good.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like she's got everything's very meticulous and organized. So she will have no problem storing a grenade launcher for you.
And all right, I'll hand you the grenades and the grenade launcher.
And she will hand it to the individual to help.
He will take off one of the grenade launchers. He'll casually take off a label that says "Caution: Explosive Spices," and hand you that grenade.
What spices specifically? If you're gonna say explosive spices,
Literally just says "Caution: Explosive Spices."
It was a sticker on the grenade launcher.
Or no, on the grenade.
Or on the grenade.
If they would have asked, I would have made up some I would have said some shit about some fungus and made up a bunch of bullshit. Cause we're in space. I can argue that some of the shit I use is just alien shit, Oh, you wouldn't know what it is. You haven't been to that planet.
It's pretty obscure. You probably never heard of it.
No,
You probably never heard of this planet.
You never
actually.
even heard of it. It's in the fart galaxy. Have you ever even been to there? No? Okay.
Weird. I mean, I suppose other people just aren't as well traveled as I am.
Some people don't flatulate like the rest of us, and that's okay. But I go to that galaxy all the time.
some
It's
of us
crazy.
don't fart paprika. It's fine.
It's explosive.
That's why I want to know, what sort of spice? Because if it's an interesting one, then maybe it has some sort of effect or bonus for you. Ow.
Well, but it's just a grenade that I had a sticker on it that said explosive spice. That's how I was gonna disguise it. Is be careful. That's the spice is explosive.
Now, see, we tell our game master things like this. These are important things.
No, but it's in
These
her
are
bag
important
now.
things.
It's in
It's
her
in her
bag
bag
now,
now.
so it's
It's
fine.
fine.
You don't have
Yeah.
to the sticker string.
So
We don't need the stickers anymore. Whatever
fine.
other labels we need to make, we can use Crystal's label maker.
So, as the day carries on, the afternoon passes pretty passively, pretty quietly. When about 4 p.m. or so, the ship's radio comes in. And all of you on the bridge here, come in. Courteous Pelican, come in. Hoban flips a switch. You got the Courteous Pelican here. What's your 20? Famously, Hoban does not understand radio vernacular and languages.
Gotta love that, man.
But the scout checks in and there I am in my notes. The scout checks in and you're able to see it on the radar, which as Hoban clicks the radio to a speaker, you can see on the heads up display, he pulls up the radar so you can also see the little scout. And Hoplicardia, the massive coral, just a few miles away. And were you not to have the radar, you would be going into all of this completely blind. When the scout gives its over and out, they close off with keep close behind and riding high. The coral's sharp and sneaky. And again, grateful to hear this because...
These people, what a criminal you are.
What? Does he belong in the coral?
He keeps
Give
trying
him to me.
Get my chips.
Give
he belongs
him to
in the
me.
coral prison. Go on, get.
Does he have good taste in chips?
He only wants tortilla chips.
That's pretty good taste in chips.
It's not bad.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, it is.
But the whole Olgarian Sea is like a fog. It's dense, it's thick, it's particle filled, and it reduces even the headlamps and these new fancy things that Hoban tricked out the Courteous Pelican on from your last adventure are no slouch. So the fact that they can only go a few hundred feet ahead and barely catch the end of the scout ship is a little unnerving, to say the least. However, as you are following, you see the faint orange and pink glow grow larger and larger. Then, like passing through a membrane of a bubble, you're able to see an enormous bright pink coral creation. The water clears up to a near tropical visibility. And it's it gives you this clear view of the coral appendages that reach up and give the illusion of a crown that is closing over the top of the structure. The scout continues over the coral itself and leads you down into and onto the prison grounds. Quickly constructed metal structures make up most of the exterior apartments and the administrative building. The prison proper is constructed utilizing natural folds of the coral wall to create these 330 some odd cells. You can see that the island is laid out just as the map dictated, and the facility itself is you know what, let's as your ship is landing, I would like perception checks.
And Sarah, we need to switch Trinity and Dallas on Zoom.
Thank you.
Yep. I can drop that off now. Perception check. I do with advantage.
Four,
25.
25.
Same!
25.
Yeah.
Druids!
22.
Also,
So two
I just
25s, a
realized
22, and a 4.
I just realized I
14.
tried to
14. Thank you.
I rolled with
That's such a good
advantage
roll.
because I do. But I just realized that one of the dice that I rolled was a D12. But it's
Would you-
okay because I rolled 12 on the D20, so it's fine.
So you all see as you descend the yes, exactly. You can see large portions of the coral have been cut. The prison structure itself seems like it would be what fills up the entire, like, miles and miles long sort of field that this whole facility has. But the vast majority of it has been removed. All but a sliver of it, really, remains of these natural folds. And
Crystal glares.
so does Poppy. Honestly, Poppy, Nathan, and Orchard are all, like, fuming silently.
It's like you see the three of them just like looking out. Crystal's just got her arms crossed and it's just like pissed off statue, like just radiating like these motherfuckers.
Steppy just looks sick to his stomach looking at it.
I mean, Mara also looks angry. Partially because of the approach. I mean, she's always approached nature very reverently, like for culturally, but like mostly she's just like, cool, prison. Let's.
Yep, that sure is a building where criminals are kept. Supposedly.
Supposed criminals.
Supposed criminals.
In addition to this defoldation.
Yes, absolutely.
It's true, but I hate it.
It's bad. It's not good.
It's bad. It's not good, but it is.
But
I suppose technically wouldn't it be a decoralization? Decoralization?
Listen, I experience a decoralization every time I wake up.
Same.
It doesn't even mean anything. Anyway. As you
It
descend,
doesn't even
in addition
What does
to
that even
this
mean?
defoldation, you see where the prison remains and these folds remain. You see a large ragged hole out of it seems like it's just been like punctured through the ceiling of this prison.
They have a name.
Hello.
Damn it, Noah. You can't just call people punctured holes, Sarah.
You can't just do that. I have a fucking name.
But it's it looks like it looks like when you put plastic in the microwave, it looks like this boiled sort of expanding, bubbling blackness.
Right here.
That is remembering your the map as you do. This is right about your landing in the exercise yard is where the scout is leading you, which is right about where the kitchen and the
You're
dining.
talking about the recreation yard?
Yeah. That's right about where the kitchen and the cell house, like the dining hall, the kitchen area, and the cell house proper meet, is right about in that area. And anyone that would like to make an Arcana check,
I'm sorry. Where was the hole while we make these checks?
Right about where the dining hall meets the prison proper. So right along that seam.
I got like a little into the cell house? Just a little bit? Like maybe just 2 cells into the cell house?
Maybe.
Just a couple cells into the cell house, nice and center.
I got a 5.
21.
21, 5.
Arcana.
Hold on.
Oh, gods. Well.
Steppy, that is an explosion, and it looks goopy.
Got a 19.
Oh, what a goopy explosion.
On a 19 and a 21, Mara, your presumption is correct. If your memory of where recovery item 27 was in the cell house, it's right next to the
Mara
dining
just
hall.
walks over to the map and just like starts like, shit.
The two of you are able to discern, even from this distance and from within the ship, this is primordial magic. It's if it were to have a school of magic, it would be evocation, and it's consumed with darkness, giving this molten burn effect.
But it is actually physical.
Yeah.
Like it's not like ethereal, it's like physical.
Correct. It's so physical that you like there are people that a very diverse race group. There's a couple of Tritons, there's an Akakra, there's a high elf, there's a various like common races as well represented, all in uniform clothing up on the roof that are with like pickaxes chipping away at these large pieces.
Cool.
And it like seems like it's like solid coming off in chunky pieces, or does it seem like goopy? Like, cause like from afar away, it seems like the microwave plastic goopy, but as they're like trying to like fuck with it, is it like coming off in like crystal shards, or?
You have the opportunity to watch one of these guys like get a good
like
chunk.
A huck.
Yeah, that is hanging directly over the entrance and exit to this part of the facility, and he gives it a good swing with an axe, and you, Crystal, watching it, it's like you can feel and almost hear it. The way it just sort of brittly breaks off and kind of like chalk pieces.
Love
You're
you.
welcome.
Cool. But hard enough to
Fucking
hit with
hate
an
chalk.
axe.
I fucking hate chalk, guys. Fun fact about Courtney, that's my weird autistic sensory thing. I
chalk
can't
sucks.
fucking stand chalk on my hands.
It sucks.
Anyway.
Cool.
How are you guys loading out? We've got the grenade launcher hidden. Concealed.
I am head of security, so
You are
I am
head of
going
security?
exactly as I am.
You said my armor was like skin tight, so I'm just gonna wear my like coat and stuff over it. But
Okay.
I've still stick resistance.
Criminal, leave.
Okay.
I'm taking
Mara's
you to
changed
Hoppercardia.
into whatever attire that the team has decided upon rather than her regular clothes. Because she's currently disguised.
Yeah, I
And
think
her
we
hair's
have
a different
you
color.
styled differently. We've done some cute makeup stuff to your face.
Okay.
There's contour going on.
Yeah, Crystal's got full contour thing going. Crystal and Poppy had a little bit too much fun.
Just a reminder. Just just throwing that out there.
I would appreciate we're going to call this a performance check because you're guessing her up.
So I rolled a nat 20, so I got a 28.
Perfect. So what that does is it raises the DC for anyone to recognize you.
I went to double check how I did, and I also got a nat 20.
We are extra killing. Like, Mara's killing.
Mara looks like Mara's estranged cousin.
Mara looks nothing like any of her, like, family line. Like, she looks like she's from an entirely different planet.
Crystal, like, straight up makes you look like her little sister. I'm like, you know what? I know exactly how to do this.
Perfect.
I mean, technically, from Weeks at Space, her tan's gonna be like she's used to like a tropical planet, so like her tan's nice and gone. Like she genuinely looks just fully different.
Yeah. All right.
And Crystal's been playing with makeup for 700 years.
Ready to leave the ship? Good to go?
Yeah.
Let me double check my equipment. But...
Just for clarification.
Yes.
Dexter's usual clothes are his armor, so they would probably fit under like a big obnoxious chef's coat. I would also not hide the gauntlets. I would probably just leave them out.
Okay.
And if anybody talks shit, I will just imply that they're for kneading bread in large quantities.
Are you saying you're the standard back of house? You've got the standard back of house look going?
I would like to wear a mustache as a disguise, and if anyone wants to help with that, that would be nice.
We'll assist.
What sort of mustache? Damn it, Courtney! You raised your hand and it messed everything up!
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna put my hand down. I'll put my hand down. I'll put my hand down. Lower hand. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I really need to turn that thing off. Hold on.
Like full walrus, like over the lip and down to the side.
Steppy mentions that
Anybody ask my name?
Yeah.
I think it's still messed up.
It's
What's your name?
Igor Strahoodle.
Igor Strudel. I have to write this down.
I suppose we do need to discuss. We should probably not use our real names.
Steppy's
at least for me.
Correct.
Steppy is not gonna try to remember anybody's fake name, and then once you correct him, he's gonna get it wrong on purpose continually to play the jackass chef role.
I was gonna say, as head chef, you could just call us scum.
No, because Steppy couldn't do that to his friends. I'll be mean to you guys, but I'm not gonna call you scum.
I'm not gonna call you scum.
I'll be mean,
you know what?
but...
That's way nicer than I was to Cal on Friday.
True.
He hadn't spent any of his power wash money in chat.
I loved it.
In chat,
it was so worth it.
Spend your money, whore.
He genuinely didn't even really realize that he could spend money in the game. He was just like, yeah, you just power wash things. Like, no,
he was just out here with a basic kit, like a rube.
Like a fucking rube.
I come in for the multiplayer, and I've got my fucking three nozzle bullshit. I just give it draw dicks everywhere.
Drawing fucking everywhere. God, they were glorious.
I've had a lot of practice.
The amount of fun clips we got from that.
Okay. So, give me a performance for the guessing up of Dexter as well.
I got a 13 plus whatever my performance modifier is.
What 10?
24. Perfect.
Okay, so Dex is Igor Strahoodle.
I spelled that STRE dash.
You said Igor?
Yeah.
That is the easiest part to have spelled.
I forgot
I
the
put
E.
STRAHOODLE.
STRAH umlaut DLE.
H.
I wasn't allowed to take the phonetic class in college.
Me neither. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that later because that cognitive distance in my brain don't work.
Yeah.
You should have had to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so ship has landed. We're loading out. Crystal, just before you lead everyone out, Poppy embraces you, and she pulls you into her chest, and she like leans down, and you can hear her whisper into your hair, "Be safe. Bring Guthrie home, but most importantly, be safe." She kisses you, and then releases.
She does just like a couple of seconds.
Throws you like a football.
Yeah, she releases just a second after Poppy does. And then gives her a little wink. Straightens up her shit. Tightens up her belt.
Hell.
All right, time to be tough. And then she just looks at everyone and goes, "Chris?"
That's right.
You're Chris?
Yeah.
I'm Chris?
Chris? Because
New
Crystal
names.
is fine, just Chris. Just Chris.
Mission
I will
names.
forget to respond to other names.
It's true.
So
Did Steppy have a fancy name?
Stepopolis.
Stepopolis.
Yeah, Chef Stepopolis.
Question was
actually Steppy will do a first name too, but he'll only say it once. Theovold Stepopolis.
Theovold, love that.
When they had Mara's information, did they have her full name, or was it just part of her name?
It was your full name because it was the location.
Well, no. So one of her well, because it's part of it is Rocale, and so she was gonna like if that wasn't in as part of her description, she would use part of that.
So the
But I don't
name
remember.
used on the wanted poster was your first and last name.
Okay.
So
so Rocale would be her middle name.
Exactly.
Kind of. She's got multiple, but that's one of them. So Mara would say Roca. Roca.
One or two C's?
It's just, it doesn't matter. Just one.
CA.
Just one according to how she normally spells it.
I spelled Theovold with 3 E's.
Oh, no, I got it all. So what?
I spelled Theofold with 3 E's.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, so it is now canonically Theovold.
Theovold?
Thank you, yes. Because I spell things phonetically and I have a dumb English brain.
No, it is. I enjoy it, and I
love
always
it. That's beautiful.
to canonically take anything.
Theovold Stepopolis.
Naturally,
Crystal...
because I'm the third Vold, so.
Okay, and
Crystal Sun becomes Chris Telson.
I'm just writing down the name
Life
so I can
needs
mess
things
them up
to
better.
live.
Life needs things to live, Taliesin. I think I want to call you Roka Boka just for fun.
Okay.
That's your last name now.
Theovold's our chef. Igor's
Mara
our
never gives her last name, so
Igor
that's
and
perfect.
Roka are our sous chefs.
Yeah. And then Chris is my security. Are any of
I
our
take on chef / like
I
assistant
assume-
roles, like anything administrative. It's just like
none of our AIs are coming with, correct? The
Correct.
amoeba.
Correct.
Okay.
We have to leave the amoeba on the ship.
That's what I figured. I didn't know if I was making sure. I assumed, but that makes an ass out of me sometimes, so I need to be careful.
But you asked a question and you got an answer.
Yeah, which is fine. But that's why I wasn't assuming, because
There you
that
go.
can make an ass out of you.
See, it's small steps in the direction that we want to be going. It's not gigantic leaps.
Steppy can only do small steps, but he still steps.
We have to come up with a name for Iris.
Yes.
This is very important.
This is important.
What's the scientific name for an iris?
Hold on.
Okay, you got it. I'll wait on this.
Iris.
Of course it is.
Iris Germanica. It's Iris Germanica. I was thinking we should call her Lily, which was her character's name in Magic of the Midwest.
We could call her Lily Germanica.
Lily Germanica.
Always subject to player change.
Always subject to player change.
Also, I would like Cutter to ride on my shoulder. For reasons that will be immensely clear
what?
Later.
in the future.
You would like Cutter to ride on your shoulder?
Yeah, my little robot.
Oh right, I forget.
Yeah,
that
everyone's
we
got
all
little
have
guys.
those.
Yeah,
I don't have a little guy.
You have Poppy.
Well, I have Poppy now. Poppy's my little guy.
I have a June bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a big old June bug.
Okay.
I guess. Do you know what?
I was about to say it.
I'll bring him and a couple of of
Then
his
bring your
normal
June bug.
size June bug friends.
Bring in the
For
June
reason.
bugs. You guys have already made such an intricate plan. The fact that you are bringing all of these little guys makes me so happy because that just introduces more chaos into this. Which, if we're here doing this for Chaos Mommy,
You guys may or
We
may
truly
not
are
know
here for chaos, Mommy.
that Steppy has the spell giant insects. So I could
And
make any
brings.
of the June bug's friends giant.
I just want it to be said, Crystal just loves to polymorph people. So, worst case scenario,
yeah.
I'm making some earthworms here.
Okay. So, Autobots, let us roll out.
Let us roll out.
As you all
Gang.
step off of the ship,
Gank.
I would like perception checks.
17.
Nice.
Canonically, Mara is walking behind Dexter because she rolled a 7.
Yeah, you're really focused on not being seen. You're really focused on just
Very
Well, she's also looking down at a clipboard or something. That's got some of our recipe.
You're like
nonsense.
materials manager.
They're just shorthand scribbles that Mara and Steppy went through in the kitchen while making all the recipes. She took those notes and put them in a clipboard.
Yeah.
Because these are our notes for the recipes.
All right.
Makes no sense.
27.
But she's utterly distracted.
And a Steppy.
Oh, very dirty 20.
Hell yeah. So, Mara, you're very
Criminal.
focused. Criminal man. You have to pay taxes, sir. Mara, you're very focused on the clipboard, to the point where you don't realize that without any sort of special breathing apparatus, you guys are easily breathing. There's nothing weird about the air here, despite there not being the closest thing you could think of would be the membrane that you sort of like entered and exited to and through. But even then, there's usually like some sort of dedicated machinery to creating this false atmosphere, particularly in something that is like hundreds of thousands of leagues under the sea with this immense pressure on it. But you're breathing just fine, like you're on the surface.
That explains Mara's bad perception. She just assumed that this would be the case.
Yeah, Mara's like, this is normal. You're muted.
Nothing is normal. Like, this is a new planet, but nothing's like, she's just like, oh, that's weird. Okay. Like, of course, like, why would you have people here and not be able to breathe? Duh.
The rest of you notice.
What is that?
I was singing Under the Sea, but I was muted because I didn't want to interrupt the stream.
Now that we might have gotten DMCA'd for.
That I do appreciate.
It's too perfect.
I needed to know why you were doing this. It was important.
Now everyone, go listen to that after this. The rest of you also notice that throughout the grounds there are these massive rectangular black lamps that are just absolutely blasting out UV light. These lamps seem to be producing the light by which you and everyone else is able to see. And you kind of get the idea that those are what's simulating this day-night cycle here on the coral. You also notice, now that you're like on the land, that where it's been trimmed, the color of this coral is dulled. A less vibrant version of the thriving walls that the prison kind of is, as well as the walls that encase everything.
Are you saying it's dying because it's been cut?
I'm
Almost
saying
as
it's
if
what you
coral
notice.
is a living object.
Mara doesn't, because she's looking at a clipboard.
Crystal does.
But yeah, most of the spaces around the walls of the prison where everything's been cleared and leveled out, it looks like it's gray. It's grayed out. And
I
then
rolled
we
a
have
15 on my own deception check for myself to try to keep my goddamn cool.
Well, thank you. Was not called for. So
I know.
ultimately does nothing.
Ultimately does nothing. It's just for my own brain.
And you've seen a couple of these from this hole that is also the most obvious thing that you see. You've seen a couple of these chunks like get knocked off and knocked down. You watch as a Triton man, his like blue scale skin dazzling in these UV lamps, takes another shovel and cracks into it, and it again breaks off in this brittle chunk, narrowly
the black
missing
stuff on the roof, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Narrowly missing a pair of figures just outside the door. One you recognize as Nettie, her gray fur tufting out of a darker gray herringbone suit, and the other a tall, thin, silver-haired, middle-aged high elf dressed in a bold and almost blinding white three-piece power suit, emboldened with several golden Harmonia emblems, who, as the chunk falls just behind him, he gives a little yelp and jumps up and then turns around and sneers up at the prisoners. This man, you recognize from your notes, is Samuel Kinf. Kinf. He runs a hand through the silver strands and straightens his vest and continues on towards you. and closes the gap. Welcome, welcome. We are so grateful to have you serve both our humble facility and our honored guest this weekend. I, I must say, Chef Stepopoulos, it's wonderful to finally be able to meet you.
Um, Step Stepopoulos will look at him and just say, "Yes, and let me tell you, when you taste my food, you will not regret that statement."
I'm so sorry. This little gecko lizard man. So bizarrely intimidating. Uh, Kinf just sort of chuckles and say, "Well, I hope the ambassador also appreciates your fine food. I've heard quite a lot of very good things."
Steppy immediately says, "Well, if you say you hope, obviously you don't believe all the things."
He's a very intense little man.
Crystal just says this is correct.
I'm so glad we picked you to be a turbo shitter. Like, too
I was
glad
trying
we
so hard
not
before the
regret any part of this.
The joy that I have right now.
Kinf looks to Nettie, and then back to you, Steppy. Would you like to just see the kitchen then?
I would like to serve my purpose. Yes, sir.
Wouldn't we all? Yes, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And they
Follows.
lead you through...
Trying so hard to get my eyes straight.
They lead you through the yard, and Kinf opens the door and leads you through, and as you go past the wreckage above, he attempts to be nonchalant and turns and goes, "Please don't worry about this. This should be nothing that hampers your abilities to cook, I assume."
Crystal looks at him. What was the nature of this explosion?
Oh, no, nothing you need to worry about necessarily.
Is
Please.
it in any way toxic?
Oh, well, we have yet to do some testing on this. It's only a few. Yes.
Crystal makes a show of like.
Stepopoulos will turn his head and say, "If I'm in any danger, we're not afraid to call this off. So if you feel like we might have to worry about this."
He looks to Nettie and thinks for a moment. Well, to be honest with you, we really don't know much about what's going on with it. But whether or not it's toxic is yet to be seen. It doesn't appear to be so. However, I would understand if you decided to, for your own health and safety,
Steppy would honestly, Steppy would talk over you if you tried to talk, but Steppy would flat out just be like, say, "I am willing to continue, but if there's any show of a risk, my life is what matters, and my team is getting me out of here." Is that agreed?
Mara's gonna like not touch you, but very like almost timidly, where you're just like, this is weird for Mara. Like Mara's gonna very timidly like lean into you, and she's just gonna go, "Sir, they're a prison. I'm sure that their security is top notch. But you did agree to cook for."
Steppy will put up his hand super fast and disrespectfully to the point where Mara definitely wants to kill him later for it. And he will turn and say, "I understand that you're a prison, and I understand this, but I'm doing you guys a favor, and I'm not a prisoner. So I will cook, I will do my job, but if there is a problem, my life and the experience that I give to everyone I come in contact with is more important.
Crystal kind of leans down a little bit and she's like, I will keep an eye on it, sir.
Mara's just
He will
mouthing.
quietly but loudly say, be sure you do. And
Steppy.
he'll tumble all out, and then he'll correct it immediately, because I'm a professional.
Steppy. Roll me a
Yeah,
persuasion check.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Can I assist?
Oh, you don't need to. I mean, you can, but it's a 19. So that's going to be a 27. Or 28, sorry, plus 9 on perception, 28.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
you said persuasion? Persuasion or perception?
Persuasion.
Oh, let me recheck, because I don't think it's that high on persuasion. It's definitely not. It's a 21. Thank you for your patience.
Okay. So, Warden Kimph, watching this whole display, nods, and continues. We have actually increased security around the kitchen, which was about where this explosion had happened. So there is advanced security, if that helps you feel at all more at ease. Again, ultimately, it would be up to you whether this is in your best safety and interest or not. I agree.
Steppy will take a deep breath and say, no, it's fine. It's just my first prison, so I'm a little nervous.
I said the same thing when I became a warden. Just through here, please. And, yeah?
This is your first prison.
It's my
As
first
warden.
prison I've cooked in, too. Oh, well, as warden, yeah, you're talking about it, sorry.
Like, Mara says it very, like almost under her breath. Like, she says it out loud, and she's not, but she's also being very quiet.
Steppy
Yeah?
will base his reaction off of the warden's.
He doesn't hear Mara. He's focused on turning and leading you guys through the so
And
there's a solid concrete wall that separates you from the prison proper. He leads you down that hallway. A turn to the left leads you through an empty dining hall back into the kitchen.
As we're walking, as we're walking through the main entrance, so are we going through the accounting offices?
No.
How are we getting in? Oh no, wait. We landed in the exercise yard. Okay, never mind. So sorry. As we're walking in, is Nettie directly beside him, or is she kind of just like following with the group?
She's shadowing him on his left shoulder. So she's like a couple of steps behind him.
Okay, because Mara's gonna like walk up and like address her as the coordinator of everything. Is there anything additional that we need to know? Any details like we were not able to discuss in the coordination?
Steppy will just start chatting with the warden about how it's crazy having like power over people, and how we're both rich and it's crazy, and how we're both douchebags, how we agree on it.
Okay, so you're gonna make me a deception check. And Mara, you're asking Nettie if there's anything else.
Any additional details that we were not able to
I also need my own
go through
D20.
during coordination, or if if she needs to point out any administrative things as we're walking.
Gonna be a 14 on the deception.
Okay.
If I do something to distract the warden or help Steppy distract the warden, would that consider
What would you like to do?
I would like to walk, because I assume that Steppy's walking on one side of the warden.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go to the other side of the warden.
And create a block between Nettie and Mara.
Right, and then also say, Turgan!
Steppy will immediately say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Hamster strudel is actually new to our detail."
What did you say about me?
Strudel is new to our company.
What? I missed it. What did you say?
I say to the warden, I say, excuse him, hamster strudel is new to our detail.
Hamster strudel.
He called you hamster strudel.
Cool. Cutter from my shoulder.
I told you I had to get names.
God damn it, hamster strudel.
Hamster strudel.
Cutter from my shoulder will say, you have a lovely prison.
You have a lovely home.
You have a lovely home. What a great prison, says this random man.
Okay.
In a language you don't understand.
Says Mr. Strudel.
Says Mr. Strudel.
No, Cutters is in English, right?
Yeah, Cutter says...
Cutters is in perfect English.
Yeah, he translates.
Yeah, isn't he translating?
Correct. Igor says, Kingapangadorgan.
If that doesn't help take down away Steppy.
That's enough cover to let Nettie tell Mara that they had to and agreed to move the recovery item 27. So it is no longer in that cell. It has been moved.
Does she specify where?
So she was able, given your interest and given its relation to Argus, also a person of interest, she did you a solid, and she was able to get it moved into the kitchen itself.
Hell yeah! Okay.
Yeah.
Because also,
Mara
frankly, she doesn't like this thing. It just exploded in the prison. I want this thing out.
Mara will say nothing, raise the eyebrows at her, and just nod. And scribble more notes onto her thing.
And then Crystal will loudly fall back and talk to Nettie for a couple of seconds and say, is there a particular head of security that I can be in discussions with? I just want to double check things. You said you beefed up the security around the kitchen. I just want a few more details about that. As if we're all taking turns talking to Nettie about different things, and all of it's perfectly fine and normal. Because Crystal's so good at being normal. She's not an alien.
Luckily, to answer that question, you are led right up to the door to the kitchen. Standing in front of it is this thick, light gray skinned gif. So a hippo man. Because we don't always... Thank you, Dungeons and Dragons. We don't always know what the weird things you say are. So I have to explain, this is a hippo man.
Can you define thick in this context?
Hippo
Him's a hippo.
Is a hippo. Like
No.
of double fridge.
Like
A double fridge. This dude's got like them pachyderm arms, and they're just like crossed in front, like. But because they're so thick, they don't like actually cross all the way. They're just kind of like.
He's got to do that.
Yeah.
When he walks, he has to do the strong man.
That's the most.
Because his arms are too beefy to get all the way down to his sides.
Yes.
That's the most dangerous animal in Africa.
Yeah.
Hippos. Yes.
Crystal immediately is like, "Oh yeah, we're good."
Big man.
Like, big man,
Big
hippo
man.
guy. Hippo guy's got shit.
Look at that big.
I ain't worried about hippo guy.
And Nettie introduces. This is Arnaldo. He's our guard.
Steppy will look
Can
at
I
him.
insight check guard?
Mara wants to insight too.
That sounded like an eye twitch.
Steppy will look at him and say, "I wonder how you got that job, huh?" And laugh too hard at his own joke.
It's a 23.
23.
Damn.
23. 23.
2 23s.
23. 23. 23.
2319. 2319. Sorry.
Also a good reference. Arnaldo does not react. He doesn't even really seem to like move or look at any of you. He is just very focused, and it seems like he is 100% a guard. Nettie is truthful in that. In fact, you remember Arnaldo the Marshal is the head of security. So he has been expressly told to guard this door specifically.
For sure.
And this is the door into the kitchen?
And out.
In and out. Ooh. I'm not worried about that at all.
Steppy will then just kind of, I guess, like go past him and go in the kitchen.
He does let all of you pass.
Steppy will just, like, other than the joke, not show a lot of interest in him, and then internally be like, they should have put a bigger guy there. That's crazy.
I think Crystal will just pause outside the door and just double check on like what security measures they've got. Just like, hey, just generally how's patrols are. What are the main threats that you guys are keeping your eyes out for, kind of thing?
Do you guys have a smaller hippo you could put in front of the door? Just normal question.
The thing is, when we come in and out of this door, I'm not worried at all. Mara's gonna be missed if she does leave, but she shouldn't need to leave because the thing that she needed to get is in the kitchen.
Well, not only is the thing Mara needed to get, but there was an already existing artifact in the kitchen.
Exactly. So we've got
we got the two that we need. That's all we needed.
And then when we leave in our emergency situation, we're gonna leave the prisoners behind. They're not gonna walk out with us.
Wait, did you wink? I didn't.
I missed
I
it.
couldn't hear that.
One more time. One more time.
Could you?
Nice, good answer.
Wait, I didn't hear it.
Oh, sorry. Can I? I'll try from this.
Let's make sure you all see it.
No. Sorry. I said this one.
Okay, now I hear it.
We're just making sure you both get it.
As you walk past our Naldo. God. I love when I have good ideas for names, and then I can't pronounce them.
Also, before we do something serious, as Igor walks past Arnaldo, he's gonna like up down him one time and like flex a little bit.
Make a perception check.
Crystal goes, relax, Igor.
19.
You're the last one in, which is part of why you feel confident doing this. You flex, and you notice him look over and flex back.
Can I roll a perception check?
You're in the kitchen. You're in the kitchen. As a matter of fact, you already see Guffrey and Argus in the same.
Oh no, I won't be. I just wanted to call him the wrong name again.
That's all.
How does he look?
I was just gonna turn around and be like, Gregory.
Gregory Strudel. Argus.
Yes.
Gregory.
Argus looks. He looks like he's been in a prison for a few months. He's tired. He's much thinner. The muscle mass has decreased as he hasn't been able to or needed to defend an entire planet worth of people. Make an insight check. Because you're looking at him and you're observing and perceiving him, but you're trying to get a deeper look at, like, you can tell that his eyes are exhausted. These are raw red. They have not had a night where they haven't been crying constantly.
Little buddy.
So just for when he sees her, she's just gonna subtly like shake her head no. How many people? So it's Argus, Guffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the rundown of who's in the room.
Argus and Guffrey are in the room when you enter, and Arnaldo is outside the door. The warden and Nettie will be in the kitchen momentarily, but it's really just to, like, get you acquainted with the fact that these are the people that you requested to help and assist you with this. Is this good? Okay. I, the warden, have to go back doing my work, and Nettie has to go with me.
Are any of the prisoners skinny? Are either one of them like gaunt in any way, or they both are?
I wouldn't say either of them are gaunt or skinny necessarily, but they're not being their bodies are surviving.
All right. Steppy will go in and immediately look at them. I feel so shitty. He's gonna immediately look at them and be like, "No food stealers, okay? You only eat what I give you." Like, start reprimanding them and telling them food safety.
Okay.
Just so when they walk in, they're just seeing me being like,
yeah,
a dickhead chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mara's just gonna eyeball, like, are there cameras easily visible within this room?
Make a perception check.
Perception. Ha! 20, Jesus Christ, 23.
So Mara, you walk in, you see Argus, and you give the shake of the head. And you start looking around and recognize that there's at least one functional camera that's pointed towards the door, and one other camera that, honestly, looking at it, it's 50-50 on whether it's working.
And where's it pointed? Like,
towards the back of the kitchen. So it's got the whole kitchen covered. Theoretically.
What ask the directly under a counter?
Hmm?
The cameras, are they directly underneath a counter? Like a food prep service?
No. They're
up on the wall.
Yeah, up along near the trim of the ceiling.
Right. Not like close, but like below. Like, because in a food prep service, you would have it flush against the wall, and then the cameras would be, I assume, on the perimeter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, if you're, theoretically, like, making knishes or whatever, you would be directly underneath the camera.
There are blind spots, yeah, that you could find right underneath the cameras.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steppy will ask the warden if he needs help, or if any of the prisoners in here are like threatening us. Like, do I just yell to the cameras, or should I bang on the door and have our giant hippo friend help us?
If there is any issues, yes, please just go directly to Arnaldo. This camera, and he points to Mara, the one that you were sort of 50-50 on whether it was functioning, and he says, this camera has been on the fritz, so sometimes we aren't able to have an eye on this sector. This camera, however, does function. However, it's a very large facility. We are overcrowded. The ability for someone other than Arnaldo to even get to you first, you would just be better served reaching out to him directly.
Thank you.
Steppy will nod and discuss, like, just kind of be like, cool, like I'll try to make sure that the prisoners are in the like visuals at all times. I appreciate you like helping us out, like making me feel as safe as possible. I understand I'm on edge, but I do want to give them the best of my ability, and I need to make sure that like they have my back in doing so. So if I have any problems, I'll talk to Ronaldo, and I'll make sure to not rely on that camera.
And Nettie was the one that coordinated it, but to the warden's knowledge, like she just assigned certain prisoners.
Yeah.
To us, correct?
Correct.
So Mara's just gonna gesture to Guthrie and Argus, and then back into the dining area. Are there any specific individuals we should be, like, anything we should be concerned about? Gesturing to Guthrie and Argus, and then, or any ones we should be particularly wary of? And then gesture to the dining area.
Well, Nettie has been very conscientious with this, and understanding that you requested a couple of extra sets of hands, she gave you, frankly, and Kinf shoots a little bit of a glare to both Guthrie and Argus, and he says, despite all presumptions, she has assigned you two of the most well-behaved inmates. So surely nothing will go wrong.
Despite presumptions, can I insight that?
Go for it.
25.
The stank this high elf just let loose through his face. It's like when you forget that your face can talk. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, I shouldn't have talked with my face. I talked with my face a little bit too much. I'm sorry.
Steppy will respond with saying, well, you know, if you teach criminals something and they actually have a task to use, maybe they won't do it again. That's why I think this is part of me giving back as a person. You know, if I teach these criminals how to cook, maybe they won't be so inclined to do whatever they did next time. Basically, you just see me trying to my own cloaca.
There are real people that really think that, and I'm so upset about that fact.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real life belief.
They ain't helping anything.
Steppy is playing the biggest douchebag.
Yes, I really like it.
It's so good. It's just awful to hear because it's true.
Because it's correct.
It's too real.
Steppy's too good at being. Look, Steppy, as someone who's fine with living on the streets in various planets, like, has seen how rich people act to him. He's just trying to portray that.
Jesus,
I love that so much.
But yeah, he assures you that he feels confident that these are some of the safer inmates that are housed in the prison.
Hell yeah.
Which is a shitty thing to say.
It sure is.
We all feel a little bit slimy after the prison episode. It's fun.
Did I ever tell you guys what I put my home game through?
No.
I know, but I don't know if everybody else knows.
I don't know if you've told this story.
I thought it was a really cool idea.
You know what? You weren't wrong.
I really hope that the thing that Courtney thinks that I'm going to be talking about is the thing. So
I'm pretty sure it is.
I presented them with a village wherein
a moral quandary.
You know what? I presented them with a village wherein the men were disappearing, and tasked them with figuring out what the hell's going on. Why is this happening? At least that's what the village elder had asked them to do, and said, you know, they usually go missing around these cow fields and around this time of night. So they follow it. Turns out it was a blue dragonborn who was taking all of the abusive and deadbeat men of the village and turning them into scarecrows. And then they go to the village and they tell the village this, and it turns out the village is in fact functioning better. They don't want them back. Keep them scarecrows.
And that is exactly what I was thinking. So I was like, I think I recall this moral quandary.
And I presented it to them like, huh?
All right, so what are you going to do about it?
Here's the stuff. You do it.
That's so funny.
So the warden gets you introduced to Argus and Guffrey. And unless you have any other questions, he's going to head out.
No more
Have a
questions.
Him
wonderful
and Nettie,
day.
or just him?
Him and Nettie.
And Nettie.
Okay.
Bye, correction.
I think we're good. If
Oh,
there's
no? Okay.
anything we need from you, I assume we can just ask Arnoldo? Mara to Nettie.
Yes. Yeah, that'd probably be the easiest way to get in touch with me. And
Crystal will go up to Nettie real quick and just say, hopefully we won't need to. It's been an honor working with you. Shakes her hand, shakes the warden's hand.
You shake her hand first?
Yes.
Okay. So as you shake her paw, and she pulls it back, she leaves the cap of a pen in your hand. Because you are so well in tune with magic, you can recognize almost on the item touching you. Here now with the intention that Nettie is looking at you with, that this is a quick responder. You won't be able to communicate with Nettie, but if you smash this, then she will know that something has gone left.
Something has gone awry. Love
That is super useful.
Yes. So Crystal will quietly pocket that as like a part of her turning to the warden before shaking his hand too. I'll slide it.
Perfect.
I've been rolling hot tonight. So.
Yeah, roll the sleight of hand.
Mara would be also standing there, like thanking the warden for his time and stuff.
Steppy will honestly, God, I hate myself. I'm gonna ignore the shit out of Nettie and thank the warden multiple times, and then just go about the kitchen.
Okay.
It was a 15, and Crookshanks gave me a whisker.
Hell yeah.
I just looked down. It was right there. I was like, oh my god!
Yeah, he's so focused on Steppy, like, exalting him and does not recognize you pocketing the
Yeah,
pink
she
cap.
pockets it. She kind of just adjusts her pants a little bit.
What can I say? Us important men, you know, we get along. It's crazy how it happens.
So crazy.
Yep.
Can't do it. So you are left in the kitchen with Guffrey and Argus. We have just a couple of minutes left.
There are no guards within the kitchen.
Correct.
So there's no
But there
guards.
is a camera.
Correct.
There's one camera that is always working, which is pointed at the door. So I assume that one's a fairly large blind spot.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is on the front, so there's blind spots from both cameras crossed over.
Yeah. And you have enough information from your sources between Macaroni Unicorn and Nettie to have lowered the difficulty rating on finding those pockets. So when we go to find that, we'll next session it'll just be no, it's easier because of the efforts you guys have made.
So I think Crystal just makes very meaningful eye contact with Guffrey. And then quietly turns
on Mara's face.
Yeah, it's just the two of them, like both of them trying to keep their cool when seeing a very, very important person in their life. And we're just like, hello, lovely to meet you.
All you see is Steppy walking up with like handfuls of shit and hands it to both of them and have them to go cut it over there. And then I hand Mara some stuff and I just mouth to all four of you while I'm doing this with my back to the camera. I'm so
I'm so sorry.
And then I'm like, all right,
I love there's like
where the camera can see you.
cinematically, so it's just like, okay, there's the action of everybody gets into this room, the door closes behind the warden and Nettie, there's a brief moment of silence of these two just everybody looking at each other for a little while, Iris and Dex just kind of looking at each other a little bit.
Are we ready?
And then Steppy just like, all right, you shitheads.
I like to think he
get to work.
He drops a box of pasta because he grabs ingredients so abruptly, like, all right, here you go.
In which case, Mara immediately like drops to the ground outside of like the like below the camera's range because the knows that the table's blocking it, and is just like staring at the floor until I assume Argus would join her in assisting. And she's just gonna like briefly grasp his hand and say, we're gonna get you out. We have a plan. Just play along.
Crystal will not.
And like, and then just like grit her fist of like, you're not gonna like Mara doesn't cry. You're not allowed to cry right now.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. All I was gonna say is Steppy will give you like, a minute. But after the minute, he's going to drag him in front of the camera where they're doing prep.
Yeah.
Mara, you notice that Argus is tearing up.
Steppy, you're being too mean.
I really want this to work for you guys. And by you having that moment with him, Steppy's just like, I need to be a piece of shit so they can have a real moment. Like, they deserve this. I saw the connection y'all had through your eyes. Y'all deserve this, but not right now.
As soon as Steppy starts getting things up and Mara and Argus pull up, Crystal is very clearly being helpful.
Helpful.
Mara just wants to like assess. I don't know where we're stopping, but like Mara wants to assess the room and look for like assess where those items are, so that we are aware of the 2 that we need, aware of like we have the individuals, we need the 2 items, and then like everything else can come later.
I can also Steppy would say to Crystal that like I guess Chris that that if they wanted to discuss seating formations and like the bigger room where everybody would be eating with Ronaldo, that would be an option as well.
Yeah, she's gonna
to show him where another room is, or to like be able to check out another room.
She's gonna help with the unload initially, and then make a show of sweeping the room and checking for things the way that a security person would.
Okay.
And then she will go out and talk to Arnaldo again.
Before you leave, as Steppy is unloading the thing, we have not yet taken the telepathic vials, or we are taking them right now.
We have already.
Did we take them on the ship, or are we taking them right now?
Because they last how long?
They last 24 hours.
So everyone,
They
so
last
actually
24, we
on
probably
that
already
note,
drank it.
yeah, everybody, like you guys all did, and Iris did. So I'd have 2 doses left that I was gonna give to them. So on
Guthrie and
you like
Argus?
asking that, yeah. So I will like offer them a beverage while they're working. I'll just be like, here, you guys look thirsty, and like set the drinks next to them, and it has the cold tea in it, the telepathic tea.
Mara's gonna tell you. So Mara's gonna say, "You better explain what this is." Upon.
So, first of all, I
Just
don't
blindly drink it.
And
of course.
Secondly,
of course not.
First of all, I definitely don't. I can explain to them once I can talk to them in my brain, and then they'll understand.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
Mara says brain. That to you in her head, like head
but
brain.
There is a negative. I don't get that because I shut the door on you really hard. So like I'll open it later. But like I'm about to let 2 strangers in my head, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't need a friend screaming at me while I do so. So I'm going to block you the fuck off while we're in the kitchen right now. And I might see you staring at me, and Steppy, like, his eyes physically avoid your body. Like, does not look at you. Like, you're not in my head.
You're not in here.
You don't get to be in here right now.
You brought the scary lady in here, and now you're not allowed in here.
Look, you maybe later, but not right now.
All right.
Do you tell her anything, or is she just going under the assumption that this is working?
You know it doesn't work because it's like when you like talk on a phone and you just hear the beep 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 beep. Like I'm not letting you in.
It's a dial.
Sure
You're getting the dial tone.
With that, that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We will pick back up with y'all executing your plan.
I'm excited.
We're gonna do a prison break.
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna break into a prison. We've kind of already started.
We really did.
We're killing it already.
And also just to clarify real quick, you said we had 2 extras, but if 3, do you have to take one?
No.
I already took it.
Because it's your spell.
I already took it.
No. I mean, like, in general, because there's 6.
Oh.
My assumption, the way it sounded was you don't have to drink the telepathic tea because it's your spell.
Yeah.
Or is that incorrect?
No, that was, I remember that ruling because either way, it's dumb.
Which means I know that there's not like a bunch of people that this would be relevant for, but that does mean that it would be Crystal, Mara, Iris, Guffrey Argus. So that leaves one extra because Dexter refused
no,
to.
because I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on the name. Crystal's partner,
Poppy.
Poppy had some as well.
During this 24-hour cycle?
I mean, they haven't been apart.
Okay.
So I assume, yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah,
Poppy's not
probably.
with us.
Not in
Nope.
right now.
So this gives.
Right,
I
but
wanted
there's
to
a
clarify
benefit.
where the other potion.
The other person is on the ship.
Which is
So
a good idea.
if we need to telepathically talk to the ship, I could do that with them, with Poppy.
Yep, perfect. Just clarifying. Accounting for all 6.
Yeah.
I would just really love to point out that Trinity is very, very good at clarifying. And this cat is a fucking criminal! Stop trying to steal chips!
Well, hopefully you guys can bust out some non-criminals from the non-criminal place.
From the place where these non
It's not a prison, it's a concentration camp.
Oh, is that better?
Do you feel better?
No,
No.
I don't.
I don't feel any.
But I hope that we made everyone else feel better. Ah.
Are you
I hurt.
okay?
I scratched my new piercing. It hurts.
Oh no.
And it hurts.
It's the worst.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for playing with me in this fun prison world. I always appreciate it. We will be back with some casual fun time on Wednesday and on Friday. Check out our sponsors, Dubby Energy and King's Coast Coffee, if you would like to support us more directly. Subscribing here on Twitch and on our YouTube, wherein we are being diligent in uploading things.
We have set procedures,
We have
guys.
procedures.
We have
We're doing it.
procedures, and I have also put a very big backlog of videos in a much more accessible place for our team, therefore should be likely on the YouTubes.
Hell yeah.
We'll probably be having you'll be seeing some mass uploads coming up here.
Yeah.
And my car will just be driving by itself.
Now is the time to follow us so that you don't miss the mass upload of all the contents.
Reading.
Yeah.
True. And then you can get caught up on all the other stuff that you missed.
Which, I don't know what it was. Might have been a lot. Might have not been a lot. Maybe you're brand new.
I assume part of it is the entirety of the season.
Potentially.
It's been 7
lovely
months. It's been
Cygnus.
a while.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
I love you.
Love you.
All right.
And we love you, audience.
Yeah,
There's not a good goddamn thing you can do about it.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello.